97.3 City FM. Relevant radio, always.
For our purposes, it's totally irrelevant. Even if we sold oil at the $15 per barrel in the budget, it's not about 7% fine. It's irrelevant. So, for me, it's irrelevant. Those external forces are irrelevant. Today, I'm going to focus on our self-inflicted goals. We fail to face up to being broke. Our borrowing is foolhardy. Our taxation is inequitable. And we cannot feed our people. We cannot feed our people. Now, let me tell you when I say Ghana is good. And by the way, all the information is from the budget, is from the MPC report. This is got nothing to do with me. So please, Ken Thompson is only the messenger. Maybe self-appointed. I'm only the messenger. Ghana is broke. Now I'll show you why I say it. Government domestic revenue. And actually, I was very careful when I was taking these figures from the budget. I said, let me use the same words. So nobody says Ken Thompson. No, the same words. It says, government domestic revenue, 30.2 billion. Nearly 41% was used for compensated employees. 31% for interest payments. So just on two line items is 71%. You've got to relate it to yourself. If you earn 1,000 cedis and you spend 700 cedis just on paying your, and I use domestic help or your house helps, and for interest, you are broke. You haven't paid petrol. You haven't paid your children's school fees. You haven't paid medical care. You haven't paid for what else? House repairs. You haven't bought food. You are broke. You are going to be living on credit for a long time. And this is 2015. Now let's look at 2016 budget. Budgets, I think we're improving. I mean, we are less broke than we were the year before, but we're still broke. We are less broke. Government domestic revenue. This is income that I think we collect ourselves. This is ourselves. 36 billion. Compensation of employees, 38%. Interest payments, 28%. Total, 67%. Two line items in your house, 67% of your income. Ghana is broke. And you know, this country is much poorer than it was a few years ago. And I'll show you why I say it. This is domestic revenue. And you know, what I've done is I've converted it all into dollars. That's what we understand. I mean, dollars is what. So 2013. Government revenue is 9 billion. 2014, 7.4. 2015, 8.2. I mean, I've tried to make the numbers look as good as I can, because if I divide it by the number of people in this country, it will look much worse. But your population, so that's the arithmetic. You see, and one thing is, I'm an accountant. I'm not an economist. I know how to use a spreadsheet. I'm not an economist, so I'm hoping that, and we have so many good people in this country. We have abundance of people, there's knowledge. So I'm hoping that some economists will come and say, that's what you're saying. But this is what I see. But what do? We refuse to face the fact that we're broke. And so every stakeholder makes a claim on the purse. I mean, Ghana Medical Association, TUC, NAT, and recently I just heard another one. It said veterinary something. I'm thinking, where are these people from? And until we face up to the fact that we're broke, all these people, everybody wants to make demands on the purse. And as usual, the political parties are playing the blame game. And we are unable to take the decisions that are necessary to get out of being broke. Ghana is broke, and we are playing the blame game. But what do? What's our answer? We continue to borrow. We continue to borrow, and I've used the ball and chain to illustrate. You see, as a developing country, it's been said that, and it's been said publicly, that we need our infrastructure deficit requires $1 billion every year to be able to get to some stage of development. But if we borrow to the max, how are we going to develop? How will this country develop? And then we've created a time bomb. Our debt, as a percentage of our GDP, just keeps going up and up. 2013, 55.6, 2014, 67, 2015, 70.9. MPC, not Ken Thompson. This is from the MPC. Why is the time bomb? Well, there's the theory, IMF will say, well, if you get to this point, it comes from sustainable as a country, blah, 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 blah. But the reality is, if, for example, we had a drought in this country, and it could happen. Look at what's happening in South Africa. We are going into default crisis, also known as Greece. That's the reality. There's always an argument made for, well, we are in debt, but we still should borrow because we need to finance infrastructure. And there's arguments made all the time. You need to finance infrastructure because you need to create the enabling environment. And we have good people in this country. We have scholars. We have people that, anyway. Yes, if you direct your infrastructure to projects that will deliver economic benefit in the future and can pay for themselves, then yes, you can borrow. But what do we see? Over the years, infrastructure is influenced by political considerations. And there's one thing I say all the time, and I've said this, I lived in England for a few years. When I came back, I said, every time, 99, 90, anytime you talk about corruption, you can feel it, you can smell it, you see the effects, you have no evidence, so there's no corruption. Financing projects, taking projects to areas which will not deliver value is wrong. In any case, corruption, extra, eats into the cost of the project. And this has been happening over the years. There's also another argument. Says, well, and I'm not an economist, so economists, people tell me, says, well, you need to, and when you have short-term debt that is expensive, you need to get long-term debt, which is cheaper, to refinance it. Okay? I'm an accountant. But it doesn't make sense if your analysis is wrong. And I'll show you why the analysis is wrong. It does not make sense if your analysis is wrong. In any case, all you're doing is, all these good people in this country, all our beautiful children, all you're doing is you're pushing your troubles to tomorrow. It's okay, look, I don't want to do it. Let's use last year's Euro debt as an example. It's just an example. He said one of the reasons why I went onto the market was that our short-term debt was expensive. We wanted to refinance it for longer term. So it was a great success. I'm only telling you what that was. It was a great success. We had a coupon rate, say, interest rate of 10.75%, maturity 15 years, and we were replacing with CD debt at 24%. So I did some analysis, and I ended up with a giraffe on a tree. There is a giraffe on a tree, and I want somebody to help me get it down. And I'll show you. I ended up with a giraffe on a tree. Just look at this. So I'm using 100, the nominal. So you're borrowing at So we're going down this way, down that way. So you borrow 1 billion. 10.75%. So every year you pay 107 million. Every year, and we have good people in this country. We have brains in this country. Every year you are paying $107 million. Every year. And I've assumed that the city, I've assumed that the inflation is 15%. And the city depreciates at the rate of inflation. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's an assumption. I'm an accountant. Spreadsheets, I understand. Economics, I don't understand. So, every year, you pay 175 million every year. I've been very kind in this analysis because I'm assuming that every year you put the money into a sinking fund.